Criminology Board Exam Reviewer. Police Photography Definition of Terms. Part 1. Actinic rays. Light rays of short wavelengths occurring in the violet and ultraviolet parts of the spectrum, which produce chemical changes, as in photography. Angle of incidence. The angle of incidence as used here conforms to that used in optics to describe reflection and refraction of light rays. The angle is measured with respect to the normal to the surface, rather than to the surface itself. The normal is an imaginary line perpendicular, 90 degrees, to the plane of the surface. Thus, a straight-on impact, along the normal, is said to have an angle of incidence of 0. Aperture, adjustable opening, also referred to as f-stop, that controls the amount of light that is focused on the film. Aperture preference, term used to describe the automatic exposure system used on some cameras, in which a specific aperture is selected but the shutter speed adjusts automatically to expose the film to the correct amount of light. Artificial light, any light other than daylight. Artificial light film, color film balanced for use in tungsten artificial light, usually of 3200 degrees K. Packs are usually marked tungsten or type B. Auto iris, automatically regulates the amount of light entering the camera. Auto white balance, electronically adjusts camera color levels. Autofocus, automatically sets the focus, distance, from scene to camera. Automatic camera, a camera with a built-in exposure meter that automatically adjusts the lens opening, shutter speed, or both for proper exposure. Auxiliary lens, a lens element added to a regular lens to shorten or increase the focal length. Background, the part of the scene that appears behind the principal subject of the picture. Backlighting, it is the light shining on the subject from the direction opposite the camera, distinguished from front lighting and side lighting. Backscatter, it is the light reflected back to the camera in underwater photography caused by flash reflection of particles suspended in the water. Blur, it is the indistinct image caused by movement or inaccurate focusing. Bounce lighting, a light source reflected off of another surface and then onto the subject. Flash or tungsten light bounced off the ceiling or walls in order to give the effect of natural or available light. Bulb, a shutter speed setting used to hold the shutter open for extended periods with the use of a shutter release cord or continuous pressure on the shutter release button. Cable release, a flexible, enclosed wire used to release the shutter mechanism. Camera, a photographic apparatus used to expose sensitized film or plates to reflected light images formed by a lens. Also, an electronic device to change film or live action into video signals. Camera angle, the photographer's point of view of a subject or scene as viewed through the lens or viewfinder. Cartridge, a light-proof container that is loaded with film in the dark and can be handled and placed in the camera in the light. Cassette, a film cartridge or magazine. A light-proof holder used in autoradiography for exposing X-ray film to radioactive blots. Circle of confusion, an optical term describing the size of an image point formed by a lens. Close-up, a photograph taken close to the subject or evidence, often requiring an auxiliary lens. Macro and micro are degrees of close-up. Color, the sensation produced in the eye by a particular wavelength or group of wavelengths of visible light. Color balance, the ability of a film to reproduce the colors of a scene. Color films are balanced in manufacture for exposure to light of a certain color quality, daylight, tungsten, etc. Color balance also refers to the reproduction of colors in color prints, which can be altered during the printing process. Color balancing filter, filters used to balance color film with the color temperature of the light source and to prevent the formation of color or casts. An 85B filter is used with tungsten film in daylight, an 80A filter with daylight film in tungsten light. Color compensating, CC, filters, comparatively weak color filters used to correct for small differences between the color temperature of the illumination and that for which the film was manufactured. Color conversion filters, fairly strong color filters used for exposing film in light of a type markedly different from that for which the film was made. Color negative film, film that records the colors of the subject in complementary hues that are subsequently reversed again in the printing paper to give the correct colors.